A white ball with no emotions or perceptions is transported to Earth as a mysterious artifact. It transforms into a rock, then a wolf. It finally encounters a young boy who refers to the wolf as Joan and is overjoyed to see it. He feeds it, but it refuses. The boy and the wolf go woodcutting the following morning. The young boy says that the villagers departed to seek heaven. The following night, the boy paints portraits of the other villagers on the wall after instructing the wolf how to feed. He departs for paradise to travel the world. The youngster slips into the river, breaking his left leg. The two keep moving forward, discovering more and more landmarks that serve as indicators that they are on the right path. He is unable to walk, and his injury is already beginning to swell. The boy then notices a marker with an arrow that has been crossed out, warning them that continuing will not bring them to paradise. He decides to return home after breaking down in tears. The following morning, the youngster had a fever. He has trouble getting to his chair at night and begs Joan not to forget him. The young boy collapses and passes away. The wolf transforms into a boy and is ready to fulfill his desire. When the wolf that changed into a boy arrives in paradise, a giant bear attacks him. The Yanome village has a girl named March who is eager to mature and become a mother. Her best friend Perona gives her dolls. When Hayas informs them that a girl from their village has decided to make a sacrifice, March and Perona are on their way to the jungle. March will be sacrificed as part of the ritual of gratitude to Oniguma, god of peace. It has been revealed. March despises the thought of dying, but Hayas warns her that if she flees, her infant sister would be killed in her stead. March will cooperate and Perona offers a chance to flee. March comes across the boy as he regenerates himself, frightening off her pursuers as she flees. March eventually feeds the boy many fruits, which he gobbles down like a wolf. March chooses to go back to the main road. As the two are resting, March is having a nightmare about her friend and her infant sister being sacrificed to Oniguma in her place. The young boy nevertheless adheres to her, and March playfully refers to herself as his mother. Perona uses a secret blade to cut her shackles free and escape after March refers to the boy as Fushi. She is attacked by a huge bear but escapes by scaling a cliff and falling into the water. As March works to educate the youngster on how to eat like a human, Hayas and the rest of the group who are accompanying her up the mountain come across her. After giving March the drug jelly, Hayas takes her the last distance to the altar. The huge bear returns after binding March to the altar. Hayas and her escorts are about to leave, assuming the bear is Oniguma, when Perona and the orb in the form of the boy suddenly enter, free March. When the bear knocks Perona out, Hayas chooses to stay and watch the spectacle. However, the boy changes into a wolf and tries to bite off the bear's face until it dies from the blood. Hayas declares that if March, Perona, and the enigmatic wolf follow her to Yanome, they will be spared. The girls agree to the proposal. When March feeds the wolf some fruit, it eventually says the phrase "thank you" that she had before tried to teach the youngster. We learn that when Perona was a young child, her older sister was picked to be slaughtered by Oniguma instead, and she perished as a result. March wants to message her parents on the way to Yanome, but Hayas prevents her. Hayas permits them to eat at different food stalls, but quickly gives each of them sleeping pills. When they awaken, Fushi is attacked by frantic inmates who eventually realize the boy is eternal, and Fushi picks up the phrase "it hurts" in the process. Yanome shoots Fushi with a poison arrow after he turns into a wolf to flee. March treats Fushi's wounds to demonstrate that they no longer need to provide human sacrifices to Oniguma. Perona devises a scheme to steal a wig from the bear's fur, escape from the jail, and travel to Nanana. Hayas makes March take care of the bear when Fushi and March are discovered excavating a hole to get to the bear. Despite her best attempts, the bear eventually succumbs to its wounds, while Fushi becomes more receptive to fresh stimuli. After collapsing into a storeroom and being discovered by a guard, Perona is compelled to begin her improvised escape plan. Fushi, March, and the elderly woman are assisted in leaving their cells by Perona. March interrupts Perona when she attempts to slice the Oniguma and informs her that it is a harsh thing to do. Then Perona says they might cease sending kids for ritual if they can show the Oniguma is dead, but March disagrees. They are accosted by Hayas and her guards as they flee. March and Perona reject Hayas's terms of giving them Fushi in exchange for their lives. Perona continues to fight the guards. Fushi assumes the form of an Oniguma and assaults Hayas after shooting March with an arrow. After that, Perona carries March home while attempting to stop the bleeding. In March's dream, she can return to her parents' house. Perona approaches Fushi and expresses gratitude for his support of March. Fushi prevents Perona from committing suicide. When March's parents learn of his passing when they arrive in the village, they are horrified. Fushi changes from his oniguma shape to that of a boy. Perona advises Fushi to flee and live his life after learning about the incident. Then Fushi changes into a wolf and departs. Fushi continues his trek using Joan's form for navigation and March's form to scale trees and consume fruit. He sees Pyren, the elderly woman, sitting by herself by fire and holding the wagon they had previously taken to flee Hyas. For the rest of the evening, Pyren walks with Fushi. She tries to eat a piece of his leg in her starving state. Fushi imitates March's former behavior by plowing down fruit after fruit for Pyren to consume. Fushi slides off the tree when they have both finished their food and asks for a thank you for the food. Pyren starts to transcribe the map onto her sheet of paper. Pyren hands the writing implement to Fushi, and Fushi learns many words from Pyren. Pyren is informed by Fushi of Fushi's past. Knocker appears while they are sleeping and impales Fushi in an attempt to successfully steal the boy's form. When Fushi battles, the Knocker Joan's shape is lost. Oniguma then takes over from Fushi. But as a result, Fushi also forfeits Oniguma's form. Fushi finally kills the Knocker's core by pulling it out with March's form recovering the lost forms. Fushi and Pyren walk inside a store where a youngster is sporting a lizard-shaped mask. Gugu and his brother Shin desire to become very wealthy so they may construct a huge mansion. Every day Gugu sells the vegetables he has picked. Mir the dog and Gugu both eat from the same bun. Gugu is drawn to that dog which belongs to Rein. Rein receives Mir from Gugu, and in return Gugu receives a ring that Rein received as a present from her father. Shin had already left and collected all of their money when Gugu got back to his tent. Gugu, who is perched on a hill, sees a cart approaching, and one of the logs falls off the cart. The log is rolling down the hill. Rein is near the base of the hill as seen by Gugu. Rein is about to be struck in the head by the wood when Gugu leaps in front of it to save her. Gugu is taken home by Boozman so he can tend to his injuries. Gugu discovers that his face has been ruined when he awakens. In the previous episode, Fushi and Pyren met a boy named Gugu. Gugu demonstrates to Fushi all the tasks he must complete. Gugu is inspired to go work out and get stronger after receiving some advice from the alcohol salesman. In the shop, Rein is looking for employment and lodging. Gugu discovers that Fushi possessed the same three main skills. He is immortal, can change, and can produce things. Only things that have harmed him can be created by him. Gugu discusses a potential remedy with Boozman for Rein's arm. Gugu is given some alcohol by the Boozman. He claims that he implanted an organ that distills alcohol into Gugu's body. Gugu is shocked by this information and no longer wants to be with Boozman. He attempts to get a job in the city. However, he frequently faces discrimination after displaying his malformed face, driving him to give up. Fushi attempts to cook and clean, but after several failures, Pyren persuades him that he needs Gugu's assistance to pick up new skills so that he can mature into a responsible adult. Gugu tries to sell Rein's ring, which she gave him for easy money, but provides it to his missing brother. A bunch of guys attempt to abduct Gugu the following night so they may use him in a show, but Fushi scares them off by changing into a bear. Gugu offers to help Fushi and the two grow close. Gugu rests as he informs Fushi that it has been a while since he last had food as the two return to their camping location in the mountains. Fushi imagines foods that will help Gugu get better and uses his abilities to recreate all the meals he has consumed. The Gugu teaches Fushi about the idea of death, and Fushi questions how he can assume the form of the deceased. When Fushi promises to assume Gugu's form to remember him if he passes away, just like Fushi did with March, and the anonymous villager Gugu is relieved. After battling with Gugu, at first for hiding his face, Rein meets the two and they become friends. The other two choices are to go back to the restaurant, while Fushi decides to look for Gugu's mask that he left behind to disguise his disfigured face. Gugu is persuaded by Rein to go back to Boozman's house. She gives him a mask. Fushi's creators watch him and realize that he hasn't gained anything useful since his last combat. Rein is being pursued by someone Rein's father hired, but she manages to get away as they head home. Once more, the mysterious shadow attacks Sushi. In the forest, the knocker reappears. Fushi's form is taken by it, which then spreads forth innumerable arms like plant vines to pursue. Gugu and Fushi battle to defend each other. However, Gugu drops all of the alcohol in his stomach after being struck too many times by the knocker. He replenishes at the Booze Man. Gugu declares his love for Rein in front of her parents as Booze Man fills his stomach once more. Gugu kills the knocker by setting it on fire with a flame in hand and a tummy full of wine. The light originating from Knocker's body is being absorbed by a stone as seen by Gugu. That is Fushi. With Kanzetsushi's assistance, Fushi regains all of his other forms. Fushi has turned into a stone. They all have a substantial lunch when they get home. Gugu afterwards reconciles with his protector. 4 years after his human form developed facial hair, Fushi feels happy to be maturing. Gugu has improved physically and grown stronger.